Houston police say another body was recovered from Buffalo Bayou this morning. It marks the fifth body found in Houston Bayous in just a week's time.
At around 8 this morning, Houston police were called here to Buffalo Bayou near North York Street for a report of a body found in the water. After officers responded, they confirmed one person was found dead on arrival.
Residents are demanding more surveillance along our bayous after another body is found in a Houston waterway.
Police say a woman's body was found in Buffalo Bayou near Commerce and Milam Streets downtown last night. This is the sixth body recovered in less than 2 weeks from bayous across town. 5 of the deceased have now been identified.
There is no evidence that there's a serial loose on the streets of Houston.
But the public wants answers. KHOU 11 viewers Hannah, Lucy, and Chris all commenting on our posts online, asking for more surveillance cameras by the water.
This is alarming to people. I don't do social media, none, zero. All my imaginary friends I left in pre-K. I have none now. This is lit up social media around the country, around the world. This is a concerning event to occur. I mean, it is. So you got to tell us something, because if you don't, people's imagination is going to run whether you on board or not.
Welcome back. This is Fugitive TV, and today we're going to talk about all the bodies that's been popping up in the Houston Bayou. People think there's a serial unaliver out there, unaliving people, while the police and the officials are saying, no, don't worry about it. You guys are safe, but let's make sure you guys walk around in pairs just in case. To me, I don't live there, so I can't tell you exactly how these bayous are set up. If you live in Houston, please comment below and let me know. But what I've read that this city has bayous all over it. You almost can't escape them because they're everywhere. North, south, east, and west is what I've read, and also what I've seen on the map. It's not uncommon for Houston to find bodies in the bayou. It's not uncommon. It happens every year. But what's alarming is this year they have found 22 bodies in the bayou. And not only that, it's the number of bodies they found in a short amount of time. For example, they found 2 bodies just in one day. One happens to be by a lady named with the last name of McKisick.
Houston police say the initial autopsy of 20-year-old U of H student Jade McKisick found no signs of trauma or foul play, but the cause of death is still under investigation. McKisick's body was recovered earlier this week from Bray's Bayou 4 days after she was last seen.
It's definitely a cause of concern for a lot of our viewers, and many have made some speculations online about something maybe more nefarious happening here, and that's understandable. Our Fox 26 count is now at 13 bodies found in Houston bayous this year by law enforcement and first responders. Remember, the 22 bayous are spread out for miles, so it's a lot of ground to cover, and that comes with tough investigations. Here's what we know. HPD confirms a male body was recovered from Buffalo Bayou on Jensen Street in Edo on Thursday. Our camera caught officers and a dive team on the scene around 3 p.m. There were reports of a man jumping into the water there. We're waiting to hear more on this. And remember when we reported 2 bodies recovered from local bayous on Monday, September 15th? One of them was identified as 20-year-old Jade Sage McKisick. She was a U of H student, reported missing on September 11th, last seen that day near the 3700 block of McGregor by a restaurant. She was a junior communications and advertising major. In a letter sent to students, U of H describes her as a campus resident and a student employee and a friend to many in their community.
Now, one body that has caught a lot of attention is she went to the college there, which is, let me look it up because I want to make sure it's right. Well, her name is Jade McKisick. Jade McKisick is one that was found in the bayou where a lot of people are just scratching their heads like, why? Now, I'm going to tell you exactly why her case is kind of what sparked a lot of this. So she was hanging out with some friends at nighttime, and she left the friends and left her phone, and I believe left her wallet too or something like that. But she left a lot of things and then walked to like a little store. She went to the store, bought, I believe it was a drink, left the store, and that was the last time anybody's ever seen her.
So according to Houston police, she was last seen at a bar and restaurant right along this area. She was there with some friends. From there, Houston police say that she left that restaurant and left her phone and then walked right over here to the Shell gas station. Now, I did go inside and speak to the owner. He did tell me that he is waiting to see if he can get in touch with the gas station owner who has access to the video to see if we can kind of get a better perspective of what Jade was doing. Police say that she purchased a drink and then she walked right out here beyond this gas station, and right on the other side of this gas station is Bayou. Police say that is where Jade walked to, and ever since, there's been a lot of questions surrounding her death and disappearance. There, she walks to this gas station. The clerk showed us video of her going inside and getting a slushie. She walks out these doors and walks into the parking lot. And this picture from surveillance shows Jade circled in green in the far right corner of your screen. It's the last time she was seen, according to police. It shows her walking towards Bayou. To give you some perspective, the gas station is about 100 yards away from Bayou. I'm going to actually walk and see how long it takes me to get there. That video was sped up, but it took me about 27 seconds to walk from the front entrance to the intersection of McGregor Way and Scott Street. This camera right here at the end of the gas station shows Jade walking towards the left of the bayou, and then she goes out of frame. Sadly, 4 days later, Jade's body was found in the bayou about 2.5 miles from the gas station.
Now, right now, her death is still pending. There's no cause of death, so they didn't say drowning or anything yet. So some people are saying that she could have walked over there, slipped and fell in and drowned. Some people are even saying that she probably wanted to terminate herself, so she jumped in and drowned. Other people are saying it's a serial unaliver going around and she's one of the victims. The reason why people are saying that she could be a victim is because how well liked she was at school. At her vigil, she had over 400 people there. Everybody loved her and everything else. Now, her body was discovered on Bayou on September 15th, 2025, after she had been reporting missing since September 11th. So she was missing for 4 days until she got discovered. Investigation. Houston police stated they found no signs of trauma or foul play, though an autopsy has been conducted to determine the official cause of death. So far, like I said, there is no cause, right? Now, her death was part of a string of bodies that was discovered in the city's bayous, which caused the online rumors of possible serial terminator or unaliver. Local officials, including the Houston police chief, has denied this allegations. So they are telling us, hey, there is no worry over here. You guys are safe. Keep going. But the community wants answers, which I do understand.
Because you see, the community that I'm talking to, they're not happy at all, because you may not know some things, but there are some things that they feel they should have been told. Because, for example, the young lady at University of Houston, I went to her vigil. I don't think there's a student on that campus that's going to believe what was just said. Over 400 kids attended that vigil. This young lady was an honor student. She was a leader at the school. She was multi-talented, and they were like, she was a friend to everyone. So when people hear this, and then they hear initially this, before the autopsy is even done, there's speculation about the death and all of this, it does not give them any comfort. And then you have a total of 14 people, 6 in the last. I get it. You are still working on the last 6, but there are some things you could tell the community, because the bodies were pulled from the bayou. They were not burned. You could tell, was it male, what approximate age, what was their race, because people are alarmed. 6, I don't care what happened last year. You had a hurricane last year, so if you found people in the bayou last year, it wouldn't have surprised people. But 6 on clear days, in less than 2 weeks, people are alarmed. People are concerned, and they want answers, okay? Because there are answers you could give without doing any forensics. You could look at them and say, just like the young lady they found in U of H down, the first thing they said was that it was a woman. So people want to know. I attended University of Houston, and I attended University of Houston downtown. Hell, you can't go to class at U of H downtown without passing the bayou. You got to park at the bottom and walk over the hill. U of H, you got the bayou right here. You got bayous all over this city. We call it McGregor, but people know it's Brays. It's Buffalo Bayou. They call it Grease Bayou. Look, this is alarming to people. I don't do social media. None. Zero. All my imaginary friends I left in pre-K. I have none now. This is lit up social media around the country, around the world. This is a concerning event to occur. I mean, it is. So you got to tell us something, because if you don't, people's imagination is going to run whether you on board or not. You had a press conference Wednesday with the mayor and the police chief, and then the next day, Thursday at 11:30, you find another body. What comfort level are we left with? So I am here to say, tell us more. We want to know. Letitia is right. Young people, I was that way when I was young. They feel they're invincible. They don't even think in their ramifications. With all that's going on, they don't. You do need to be more vigilant. If you see something, say something. Other than that, people, they won't know. But it may not look normal to you and shouldn't look normal to you if you see a car parked right next to the bayou. Why the hell are they over there?
Now, the community wants answers because with some of these bodies, they're not releasing if they were a male or female. They're not just saying anything. They're just saying bodies are found. Now, that's not for some of them. Now, I will say that, like I said, there's a history of people being found in these bayous. This is not a common thing. If you go all the way back when Houston was very first even a city, I believe it was the Allen brothers. The Allen brothers came down. It was two brothers. And the funny thing is, one of them died at an early age, like 28. But two brothers, Allen, they came down and they pretty much purchased a bunch of acres for $5,000. That was it. And those acres they purchased turned into Houston, what you know of today. And I believe the name Houston was named after some war general or something like that. I believe it was Sam Houston. I don't remember. If you guys are from Houston, let me know. That's just a little fun fact. But they purchased this land. Now, when they purchased this land was swampy and everything else, and it would flood from hurricanes and flood from everything else. Now, when it flooded, people were found in the bayous. People were found in the flooded water, drowned. So it's since day one, since the 1700s or 1800s, whenever the Allen brothers discovered this land, or bought this land, I should say, people always have been found. Now, for one thing, some of these people also could be homeless, because in the bayous, correct me if I'm wrong, if you live there, there's a lot of homeless camps and a lot of people who live by the bayous, and that's where they live at, but they're homeless. Now, I was homeless at one point in my life. Now, for you guys don't know my backstory and watch my other videos, the reason why this is Fugitive TV is because I was once a fugitive on a run. I was a fugitive for about 15 years, living in different countries, all kind of stuff. It was pretty much like the movie Catch Me If You Can, and then I ended up turning myself in. But the first year, I should say maybe the first 5 months I went on a run, I was pretty much homeless. I was homeless in New York City, living under a bridge with other homeless people. Now, I can tell you one thing that I can say is true about when this happens. Let's say a homeless person passes away, right? When a homeless person passes away, what do you think the other homeless people do with that body? Now, me and you, if we pass away right now, we got families going to take care of us and things like that, but not them. So a lot of times a homeless person, if they pass away and let's say they're around a bunch of other homeless people, they're not going to leave them there. You know, what they usually do is they take them, pick them up, and then they put that person somewhere else to where somebody can find them and pretty much take care of them, or dump them in the water. And the other homeless people will just go through this stuff, and I got shirts here and I got this and food here, and spread it amongst other people. It's sad, but that's what happens. So some of these people could have been homeless, and when they pass away, the other homeless people will take them and just dump them in the bayou. And they start floating down the river, and that's when somebody discovers them, because they don't want them rotting away at their homeless camp. You know, just think about that. It is not the smell and everything else. So that's why they do that, right? All right. Let's take a look at a few of these bodies that were found, all right? So there is one that was found. They're actually right now, they don't know who it is, and they put out a picture of a tattoo. And as you see, it's this picture right here. It's got 3 8s, but they don't know who the person is. It's a woman. And I'm going to read to you what it is. So it's a tattoo of 3 8s on her inner left wrist. She's 5'3", weighs 120 pounds. Her hair is short black style with a distinctive widow's peak. Eyes are brown. She was wearing a black short sleeve T-shirt with the words "Black and Beautiful" on the front. So I'm thinking that she's black or African American. Her jewelry, she was wearing a small white metal rose nose stud with a clear stone, and had on light pink nail polish. Now that's the one they just found. Okay, like I said, they don't even know like who she is. That's why they're giving a description for somebody to come out and say something. Now, Monday, September 15th, 2 bodies were found. One was 21-year-old Jade McKisick. Jade McKisick is the college student that we just talked about. She was recovered from Bayou. And then Rodney Ricardo Chapman, 43, was recovered from a canal near the East Freeway at Greens Bayou. Tuesday, September 16th, Seth Joseph Hansen, 24, was found in White Oak Bayou near 2200 White Oak Drive after a witness spotted him. His cause of death is still pending. Tuesday, the 18th, September 18th, witnesses reported seeing someone jump into the Buffalo Bayou near Jason Drive and Navigation Boulevard and never resurfaced. He was later identified as 63-year-old Arnolfo Alvarado. So he was seen jumping into it. So he pretty much looks like he wanted to terminate himself, right? Saturday, September 20th, the body of 66-year-old Michael Andrea Rice was found in Buffalo Bayou at North York Street. So the last 2 were in their upper 60s. We don't know if they were homeless or what was going on. A woman's body was pulled September 25th from the water near Commerce and Millennium in downtown Houston. So they are kind of spread out. So like this one right here. So the only one that looks like that kind of went further was this one right here. And this one was one of the ones that was found on the 15th. So 2 were on the same day. 1 here and 1 here. Now, if there was a serial terminator who did this, especially on the same day, they're kind of spread apart. Now, it doesn't mean that happened on the same day, right? It could have been different. But you do have a little track mark here. A woman's body was also pulled from the water near downtown Houston, adding to a string of recent discoveries that have fueled speculation online.
We're talking about a lot of bodies in a city where many people walk, run, and bike the bayou areas every day. So we visited an area near the White Oak Bayou to see how people have been reacting to the discoveries. A lot of people are just wondering, what's the deal? HPD hasn't really given us a lot of information either. What questions do you have?
I mean, is there somebody paying attention to these? Is there more details to investigation? I don't know. It's just kind of scary at this point. When it's that many coincidences, there's not such a coincidence that happens multiple times.
There's long-term plans and there's short-term plans. I would hope that the short-term plans are in effect and something's being done. Someone's patrolling or someone's watching over cameras or lights or anything's being done right now.
All right, now here is just a list of at least 22 bodies that have been recovered from the Houston Bayou so far, okay? And this is just this year. So we have Raymond Hatton. Looks like he was 30 years old. He was found July 7th. Now his cause of death is still pending. Latricia Amos, she was 57. She was found August 21st. And it's still pending for her. Jamal Alexander, age 31st. That was August 27th. Still pending. Then we know Jade McKisick. Now, Jade McKisick is still pending as well. They really don't know exactly. There's no cause of death yet. Rodney Chapman, who we talked about earlier, still pending. Then we have 2 other names that have not been captured. So we have September 16th, age 55. There's no name. They don't know who that is. And then there's another age 41 for September 18th. Name is not captured. Everything's still pending. Then there's Michael Rice, September 20th, age 47. And then we have September 25th, which is pending. No name for that. Then we have Douglas Swearigan. Looks like that was January 11th, age 44. A cause of death was actually drowning. So that one, it looks like he did drown. Carl Newton, February 14th, age 24, certain cardiac death. And then you have Rodolfo Salas Sosa, March 22nd, age 56, drowning with blunt force trauma. Drowning with blunt force trauma. So it looks like either he hit his head and then drowned, or maybe somebody hit him in the head and then he drowned. A lot of the rest of these are pending, undetermined, pending, another drowning, undetermined. So you have all these names right here, and that's just this year alone.
You know, one of the guys who just said, is anyone paying attention to these?
Yeah.
You know, that really brings us right back to HPD. So have we heard anything from HPD on these?
We haven't. I have been on the scene of the last 2 recoveries, hoping to hear something from public information officer. Haven't heard anything. We've reached out. They say don't anticipate hearing anything right now. We did reach out to the county forensics department, see if they'd be willing to say something. They didn't give an on-camera interview, but we are requesting more details from all of these instances, especially in the last couple of days. So hopefully we'll get some more information. But we hear what you're concerned about, you know, wondering if it's something more that we should be paying attention to, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we'll certainly continue to ask those questions. Sherman, thank you so much.
So it just makes kind of sense. Now, that part of it I get, right? Now, if they're talking about a serial terminator, serial unaliver, or whatever you want to call it here on YouTube, I do know one thing about serial people. Usually they go after the same amount of victims. When you look up all the cases of all these serial terminators or serial unalivers, usually it's the same type of victims. Usually they always go after women, or they always go after a certain race, or they always go after something. Now, every once in a while they might mix it up. But if you look at majority of them, and maybe let's say they got 10 women, maybe 2 might be men, but a lot of times those 2 men that they got were in the way. The woman was with them, or the man was there at the wrong time, or the man showed up and interrupted, and then he got terminated too.
Most serial killers suffer from some kind of personality disorder, usually psychopathy or antisocial personality. The difference between these 2 disorders is simply nature versus nurture. For example, a psychopath's brain has underdeveloped impulse control and emotional centers from birth. By contrast, antisocial personalities are learned and usually develop during an abusive or neglected childhood. However, neither of these disorders equals insanity, which is why the not guilty by reason of insanity defense rarely works for a serial killer. Killers deemed criminally insane are not mentally able to discern right from wrong. Serial killers, however, know very well how evil their actions are. They just don't care.
I mean, look at, Jeffrey Dahmer. He even had an MO. He was going after guys who liked the same sex. So that was his MO. Even though I believe there were different races, but still the MO was a man going at, liking the same sex, because Jeffrey Dahmer liked the same sex himself.
Do you ever feel violent?
Yes, I do.
What do you feel like doing?
People.
You still feel like?
Yes.
Describe the feeling that you get when you feel like.
Well, last March 11th, I was hallucinating, and I took a razor blade and I cut a man.
Here in the hospital?
Here in the hospital.
Do you think you'd murder me, Joe?
Yes.
That's gruesome, Joe. That's horrible.
Yes, it is.
And you don't blame me if I say I hope you never get out of this place.
I hope I never do either.
There's no telling if there is one or not, but the community wants answers from these people. They just want answers. I don't blame them, because if I was there, especially if I was a woman and I was walking to college and there's a bayou next to the college, I've heard that you have to park down by the bayou or something like that, walk across it. Like I said, if you're from Houston, let me know below if this is right. You have to park by the bayou or walk over just to even get to your college. So I would even be kind of like, hey, is this safe or not safe? And if it isn't safe, how do you think they can make it safe? Do you think they need to put cameras up? At least if there was some sort of cameras or some sort of video footage, we can at least see, how these people are passing away. Now, they're claiming that they can't do this. I don't believe them. We can send man to the moon. Y'all can equip every police officer with a body cam. Y'all can equip every car with cameras. Y'all can equip all these corporate office buildings, all those cameras, but y'all can't put a camera in a tree every so often just to make sure, or put up a pole with a camera. Y'all can do it. Don't tell me you can't. I know you can. Because we go to places right now where you'll see a lot of cameras, and you sometimes will see that blue light flashing. That's when you know you're in the hood and that camera's recording, all right?
Asking for help IDing a black woman, 5 foot 3 inches tall, weighed 120 pounds. She had short hair and a widow's peak. According to the release, she was wearing a black short-sleeved T-shirt with the words "Black and Beautiful" on the front.
Beneath the murky and slow-moving current of Houston's bayous are secrets buried deep underwater, junk, abandoned cars, and even bodies. In 2015, Channel 2 Investigates discovered hundreds of vehicles submerged in local bayous. We really began looking into it, and 3 years later, the story is more grim. Dozens of people found dead along waterways in Harris County since 2015. Investigator Joel Eisenbaum discovered at least 40 cases.
I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that one person did all this? Do you think it could be a mixture of one person and then people, terminating themselves? Or could this be nobody's done nothing and all these people that are on the list that I named pretty much did it themselves, or they just fell in and couldn't get back out? I mean, there is a lot of bodies. Now, this isn't the only time, like I said before, that they found bodies in the bayou. I mean, it's been a big issue for a while. Why is it getting blown up now? Maybe because of social media. Social media, they blow everything up. But let me know what you guys think. And make sure you like, subscribe, stay tuned for the book coming out soon, Rare Redemption. It talks about how I was on the run for 15 years from the law, how I changed my life, how I pretty much opened up businesses, doing great right now, okay? Book is coming out soon. Hopefully by the end of this year, it should be out for you guys. This is Fugitive TV. I'm out.